What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Jason Mason, back again with another video, keeping these videos rolling out for you guys. So here is something I've been wanting to do for a while, actually, because I've been revisiting Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, I did the Avatar Iceberg video, check that one out if you haven't already, and I also did a basically full-on review of the Last Airbender movie that came out about 10 years ago. So I did those two things. So I've been revisiting Avatar, and I want to continue by doing this by ranking every single character in The Last Airbender and Korra. I'm going to be ranking every major character that actually mattered. I already have them all listed out here. So we have a bunch of categories. You know how tier list works. Everybody knows how tier list works. We have the best, great, good, average, below average, boring, and garbage. Because, yeah, Avatar, as great as it is, there are some boring and garbage characters. Boring is a bit different than garbage. Garbage is, of course, like, I don't want to see them at all. Boring is just like, I'm bored. So we have a lot of characters here, as you see, a lot of characters to go through, so I'm not going to waste any time. But real quick before we do this, if you guys enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. It is free. It is absolutely free. If you're watching this, why are you not subscribed? You should be subscribed. I release content pretty often. Well, I try to. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get into this. There is a lot of characters I have to go through, so yeah. I even had to write down some of the names of the characters because there are so many of them. So, first off, we have Longshot from The Last Airbender. I think a lot of the freedom fighters are going to fall under the same category of just being there. They just kind of exist as a gag or something else. Longshot is definitely one of them. I think he's kind of cool. He's mysterious. I wouldn't say boring. I kind of am interested in what he does. I would say below average for Longshot, to be honest. This is Pipsqueak the boy. Pipsqueak. Gotta go boring. He's another one of the freedom fighters, and I'm not too interested in him. So we have the Swamp Man. Hugh. We have the Swamp Man. He's a little interesting. He doesn't really pique my interest at all. I'm going to go boring. And that's, he's not boring. He's kind of interesting. Below average. A lot of the minor characters that are going to be on this list are probably going to fall in below average or boring just because they don't have the time to be, introduced, go through character development, all this good stuff. So please just remember, this is completely subjective. This is just my opinion on who I like, who I don't like, and things like that. If a character isn't major, it's going to be pretty hard for them to, be in the average tier. But Naga, however, is going to be in the average tier. Naga is definitely not, my favorite pet companion by far, but I still like dogs, so of course I'm going to like Naga. Next up, we have Hakoda. Hakoda. Hakoda is pretty cool. I wouldn't say he's a good character or a great. I would probably say he is in the average tier. Katara, great. I don't even have to explain why. Katara is one of the best characters in Avatar. Wouldn't say the best category, but she's great. She wasn't my favorite growing up, and even rewatching the series, I can say that she wasn't my favorite even then. Momo. Momo's gonna go in good. I don't think he's great. He's awesome, but he's not my favorite pet companion once again. We'll get to that later. Earth Queen, garbage. I don't want to see her on my screen at all. Earth Queen was very annoying as a character, and I did not even like her as a villain. Smellerbee. Boring. Same way with the Duke. I mean, the freedom fighters are cool, but they don't belong in below average because they're just not interesting, really. I would not want to watch an episode based on them. They just didn't have the time to really be introduced and fully realized, I think. So, please don't hate on me if you're a freedom fighter fan. That's just where I stand with them. So, Batu. Batu of the Water Tribe. He's definitely not Hakoda for me. But he's not boring. He's still pretty interesting. I would say below average, at the bottom of below average. Master Paku. He's a pretty cool character. Is he as cool as Katara? I would say no. But I'd probably say good. He's pretty interesting. He has his old beliefs that are really interesting, and I like seeing him. I think he's a pretty cool character. He's a great, like, he's not a villain, but he kind of like is stuck in these old ways, and I like that the Avatar world kind of delve into that. So I'm gonna say that Master Paku is pretty good as a character. Kaya, one of Aang's children, of course. It's kind of tough. Kaya is she's probably my least favorite of the kids that Aang had, just because she doesn't really have a lot of time. She's good. She, she's good. She's average. She's average. She's average. Top of average right now. I like her, but she's also doesn't do a lot, like, ever, really. So, I mean, yeah, she doesn't do a lot, but, like, I'm sorry. That's just where it is. So we have Korra. Korra is, of course, the main character in The Legend of Korra. So she's definitely had a lot of screen time, a lot of development. I think the story did a lot of bad things with her. So I'm not going to say great. I would probably put her in good, though. All things considered, she's bottom of good. I'm going to say bottom of good for Korra. She's cool. I just don't know how cool. Like, there was a lot of story decisions in The Legend of Korra that made me say, dang, I really don't like this character. So that's where I'm at. Minghua, I really don't even know this character. I know they're in Korra. I know they dealt with Zahir. They were a part of the Red Lotus. But honestly, gonna say it, boring. The Water Arms is the coolest thing about her, and that's it. Gram. Should Gram even be in this list? I mean, like, Gram's cool, but she doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna put her bottom below average. She's not boring. Hama is a great character. Great villain. You would have loved to have seen her get more screen time, something. It would have been great. Like, just seeing her do more. I wish she was more involved, and I wish she played a bigger part somewhere in the story, but what she did get, her episode was fantastic. One of the most darkest and chilling episodes of the entire series, for sure. This is the dude that was supposed to marry Princess Yue. He's going in garbage. Don't care about him at all, to be honest. Pabu was pretty cool. Pabu was pretty cool. He was the companion of Bolin, and Pabu was pretty cool, to be honest. I do like Pabu. I like his scenes. He has that Momo charm for me. Is he better than Naga? Pabu, Naga? It's a toss-up. I'm gonna go top of average. Pabu was pretty cool. I did like seeing Pabu's scenes. I'm not gonna lie and say Pabu was a bad character or anything like that. This is gonna be a fair ranking. And this ranking might ruff some feathers, but we have Esna and Desna. I'm going to put them two together because, well, they're basically together all the time. And they're going in boring for me. I did not care for their scenes at all. I didn't care what they did with Bolin or Mako, Bolin. I didn't like that. I didn't like anything they did. There was nothing that made me say, dang, this is pretty good. I just wanted to completely turn away whenever they were on screen. I picked up my phone. I did anything else but watch Esna and Death Note on screen. Please don't hate me for that. I swear this list gets better, okay? Sokka. Sokka's the best. Sokka goes in the best. He's funny. He's charismatic. He's smart. He comes up with plans. Sokka has one of the better, like, character development arcs because he goes from just the guy who's funny and everybody loves him for that to a guy you actually care about. And I mean, the Sokka's Master episode in book 3 was one of the best displays of Sokka's character arc completely. And the siege of what was the siege? The Black Sun, Day of the Black Sun siege. That was pretty good too. So yeah, Sokka goes in the first best character we have. Amon. He definitely is one of the best villains in Legend of Korra. I think he's top 2, with another villain we'll get to later. Amon is really cool. I like how they use blood bending. Things got a little confusing with his character towards the end and how he was revealed to be a fraud and how he was taken out. But overall, the buildup of him as a villain, pretty good. I would even say, he's definitely better than Korra for me. I think his ideals are realistic. I think somebody would really have those ideals in the Avatar world. I think he would have been a great villain in The Last Airbender, too. I think he would have been a great villain in the original series. I think he goes great, honestly. I think Amon is one of the greater things to come out of The Legend of Korra. This is the lemur companion that Milo found. I'm just gonna go with boring. I mean, there was so many companions in Legend of Korra, and he just really just fell to the background. So next up we have the Earth King, the Earth King from the original series. Below average. I think he was funny when he was on screen every once in a while. Overall, he was really just a figurehead, so there's not much you can really say about him. But yeah, it's alright. We'll move on. Appa. Appa, not even gonna think about it. He's definitely cooler than Momo for me. Appa is such a fun, fuzzy companion, and I love him so much. Appa's going in great. Appa will probably be the highest rated companion throughout the whole series. Appa is great. Speaking of great characters, we have Jet. I love Jet. I wish he would have had more screen time because how much I loved Jet. Jet should have gotten more of a redemption arc. Jet should have been used more. I mean, he died. He died in book 2. Would have loved to see him be a part of Team Avatar. And even as a kid, I really liked him because, I mean, those swords he used, those swords were awesome. So Jet is going into, gonna put Jet in great. I think bottom of great. That might change later, but right now, Jet's going great for me. Princess Yue, Princess Yue is probably average. Yeah, bottom of middle of average. Probably like right here for Princess Yue. She's cool. She doesn't do a lot. But she's okay. She has a couple moments in a couple episodes where she shines. But overall, I really could not really care less if she was included or not, to be honest. I know some people are fans of her, but me, not so much. I think this was June, this little rabbit friend. Gonna put him in boring just because he didn't do much. Varric. Varric was like the movie star type character, director, 1920s inspired character for The Legend of Korra. He had some good moments. He had some annoying moments. Overall, I'm gonna put him in below average, top of below average. I think he's an alright character. I don't think he does much to push anything forward. I don't like that he became a reoccurring character as much as he did. I would have preferred him probably taking a back seat and just appearing once in a while, but that's just me. Kyo the Face Stealer, one of the coolest characters by far. Definitely the coolest spirit in the Avatar world. I gotta go with great. I would have loved to. Same thing with Jet. I would have loved to see Kyo possibly be revisited in the Legend of Korra or just somewhere down the line. I know he appeared so late in The Last Airbender, but I wish he would have appeared in more things in the Avatar universe. So we have Vaatu and Rava. Rava and Vaatu. Wow. These are stupid. Garbage and garbage. They are literally flying kites. They ruined the arc that was in The Legend of Korra. Their storyline was really bad. Really bad. So I'm not going to talk about it. It's bad. If you haven't seen Legend of Korra, do not do not watch. I think it was book 2 where these two were featured. It was terrible. All right, the owl. The owl's going in below average. He was kind of mysterious. He was kind of cool. But he wasn't anything great. He didn't push the story forward, didn't do anything to change anything. But he was interesting when he was on screen. The clean dude, I forget what his name was. And we'll have the dirty girl. Dirty girl. We'll have the clean dude, the clean clan, and the dirty clan. They're going in boring, to be honest. I didn't completely hate the episode as a kid. So is the tour guide. Tour guide's going in boring as well. That whole The Great Divide episode, yeah, it's just gonna be erased from my memory. As a kid, I didn't hate it. It's not like my least favorite like everyone else's, but I would say that it's not great, and the characters in it are not great either, so we can just kind of skip over that. Secret Tunnel Dude, he's going in below average. He doesn't do much for the story. I think top of below average. He doesn't do much, but he's also a really nice character and a nice little side piece character when he is on screen. Grand Master, we have the Master Patik. So Master Patik, probably the back of average for me. I would say back of average is about where I would put Master Patik. Again, a lot of these characters only had screen time for probably like what would you even say? They probably had screen time for like maybe an episode, half an episode. So He's one of the more memorable characters who only appeared for a short amount of time, and in his time, he was pretty good. He gave advice to Aang, he was cool, and no complaints about Master Pratik. Boomy, King Boomy, he's great, right? King Boomy's great. King Boomy is one of the first, like, over-the-top characters that we see in The Last Airbender, and throughout his stay, every time he's on screen, you want to watch because he's this big old dude who can just beat up anybody, and he knew Aang when Aang was a child. King Boomy is a great character and a great addition to the Avatar universe. The Cabbage Merchant. I'm not going to say the Cabbage Merchant is the best, because he's not. He's cool. He's great, but I think the fan base kind of overrates him. He's going in good for me. Back of good. He's a funny gag. You like the whole my cabbages thing. That's cool. But at the same time, I feel like, could do without him. Could do without him. Haru and Haru's dad. So first off, let's go over Haru's dad. Haru's dad is probably going to go in kind of boring for me. He doesn't, top of boring. Not an overall great character. Not a character that makes you say, wow, this is a pretty good character or anything. He's just a kind of a filler character. But Haru is the main star of that duo there. Haru is the main star. Haru probably should have gotten more time on screen. I think he's definitely more entertaining than his dad. I think he had something with Katara that could have been built on. I would say Haru's probably average. Average for Haru. He's a character I would have loved to see maybe get another episode in like book 3 or book 2 down the line. I would love to see him just do more in the series. It sucks we didn't get to see more Haru because he's pretty cool. Asami. Wow, this is definitely a hard one. I don't want to be that guy, but what did Asami really do for the show? Like, seriously, what did Asami do that made any positive contribution to the show? Honestly, like, Asami's gonna be the first major character in boring. Asami is boring. Flat out, Asami is boring. She's just she feels like just a character that needed to be into Team Avatar because they needed another character into Team Avatar. She wasn't a character that actually like had any purpose being in the story whatsoever. She's bad. She's bad. Bad for me 100%. Suki is of course one of the last members that were added into Team Avatar in The Last Airbender. Suki's really cool. I love her and Sokka as a relationship, as a pairing. I think they're great. It would be cool to know if they actually got married in the end. I would say Suki's probably great. Suki is probably great. She doesn't get as much screen time as she probably should have, but she's awesome when she fights. She's witty. She's smart. She's a cool character. Everything I see her in, she's awesome. So, yeah, Suki is put right there. Bolin. Some people love Bolin. Some people love Bolin, and I'm not really sure why they love Bolin because he's Sokka, but less funny. He's just a punching bag. He's a punching bag who never gets, like, his Sokka moment. You know how Sokka had Sokka's master and all that good stuff that was, like, pushing his character and making him into a man? Bolin never had that. Bolin was just a joke from beginning to end. Bolin is not a great character. I'm sorry. Bolin is below average. Bolin is below average. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Bolin is not great. Kyoshi, we don't really see much of Kyoshi, but from what I can say, Kyoshi's average. I mean, you know, it's Kyoshi, Avatar Kyoshi. She's not the best Avatar that appears in the universe, but she's cool when she is. She's hard-headed, she's stubborn. I like that about her. I like how in the few scenes that she does get, we get to see a lot about her character and get to know like who she really is. The fortune teller. Boring. Probably like back here. Like honestly, back here boring. Not an interesting character. What was this guy's name again? Aiwei. He was of course the traitor in Legend of Korra, who turned against Suyin. He was kind of fiddle. He was kind of fodder. Like he wasn't major. He was just a dude who needed to be taken out, and they needed a traitor, and that was the traitor. He had decent ideologies. I think he wasn't super flawed in his ideals, but honestly, I was debating putting him in boring, but I'll go below average. He was an interesting trader. I think he played the trader role pretty okay. What was this lady's name? What was this lady's name? Julie. Julie. That's right, Julie. So, Julie. Judy. Julie. Anyway, you know who this girl was. She's like, "Hi, I'm Judy from Lake Laogai. There is no war in Bossing Say." Boring. It's not even, honestly, garbage. It's not even really a character. It's not even really a character. It's a robot. The Boulder. Probably the most charismatic minor character in the entire Avatar universe. He's pretty charismatic. Obviously based off of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's a pretty cool character. I would probably say, I'm gonna go top of below average. He doesn't do much. And I'm gonna move Grandmaster Patik down, or Master Patik down, because I think this is, actually, no. I'm gonna move them up. I'm gonna move them up. Average. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yes, this is where we're at. Okay. So we have Zahir. Zahir is the other great villain that, is in the Legend of Korra. He's the villain I would say is probably the best, right next to Amon. Those two are without a doubt the best villains in the Legend of Korra. And some of the best villains in the whole Last Airbender series. They are definitely like, they have great ideologies. I think the philosophy that Zahir holds with the Red Lotus is a pretty cool one and something that you could really see happening. I would honestly say Zahir is probably at the top of great. I would rather watch Zahir than Katara. That's kind of controversial to say, I know, but Zahir was a really cool villain, and I don't like The Legend of Korra that much. I don't praise it or anything, but Zahir was something they got pretty right. Mako. Mako is definitely better than his brother, because he's not a joke all the time, but he's still not as good as Korra. Mako is going in average. Sometimes watching him would make me frustrated. Sometimes watching him, I'd be like, okay, this is a layered character. And other times I'm just like, get him off my screen. I don't want to watch him. Yeah, so that's Mako in a nutshell for me. Long Fang. Boring. You could tell instantly that Long Fang wasn't going to stick around long just based on like him, his personality. He just really wasn't anything to really harp on. So yeah, that's him. June was a pretty cool side villain and a teammate of Zuko at one point. June was actually pretty cool, I would say. June really doesn't have enough screen time to really break into the great character or the good. Well, June, I would say average. June's probably average, around here. Yeah, she's great in the time that she does get, but she doesn't do anything to really elevate the series or really be considered good. She's average, though. Han, this is one of Suyin's kids, Toph's grandson. He doesn't really do much. He looks cool. Cool hairstyle for the Avatar universe, so I'll put him in below average. This was the merchant, of course, from the Air Temple that was taken over by technology. Kind of a useless character. I'm going to say below average for this character as well. No offense to him, but he really doesn't do anything to push the story. Again, he's just kind of there as a side character. A lot of these characters are just side characters, and it's kind of hard to rate them because they only get like one episode appearance. Wu is the new Earth King. After the Earth Queen was taken out. Wu was kind of an interesting character. He was kind of funny. He was definitely funnier than Bolin. Not better than Varric though, so he goes right there. Oh, what was this dude's name again? Oh, that's right. This was the earthbending dude. These two are the people who tried to kidnap Toph. This guy below average, this guy boring. And then we have Tio. Tio is, of course, the son of the merchant. And he was handicapped, if I remember right. Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. Well, in Avatar universe of a wheelchair back then. I would say below average as well. Definitely not one of the side characters that you really remember or stick out. He was just a cool character who came in for a little bit and was taken out rather quickly. Okay, Toph. Toph, the best. Toph is the best. Toph is the best. Probably even better than Sokka, our second the best character. Toph is amazing. She's just so cool. She's blind and she's just badass on every account of the word. She's amazing. You know why Toph is one of the best. Come on, everybody knows why Toph is one of the best. She's so cool. Opal. Opal was also another character that I thought was kind of cool in The Legend of Korra. I actually liked her. It was Toph's granddaughter, I believe. One thing I did not like Bolin and Opal's relationship. For that, she's going to get some points taken off because no. So I would probably put her at the top of good. I actually liked her more than Korra, to be honest. I think she was a cool character. You know, there's very few characters from The Legend of Korra that I actually like and would consider like good characters, but I think Opal would work even in the original series. Gazan, he was the lava bender, if I'm correct. Boring with the other Red Lotus member. Wow, Kuvira. Kuvira, definitely a step down from Amon and Zahir, but still a great Earth Kingdom villain. I think that, you know, having her kind of rise up and take over the Earth Kingdom was pretty cool, and it was actually a really like nice storyline. And I liked the battle between the Earth Kingdom and the Earth Empire. I liked that whole thing, and I liked Kuvira as a villain. I would definitely say, definitely, I kind of liked her better than Korra, to be honest. I would say probably right here. You know, now I'm looking at this, The Legend of Korra does have some decent characters. Decent characters, for sure. Zhu Li. Zhu Li, of course, Varric's servant, who eventually turns into a wife. I would say Zhu Li is, below average. Didn't really care for her too much. She didn't do anything to push the story. Didn't do anything for me. Her and Varric just kind of fell off in the universe, to be honest. Chan's going boring. Oh, yeah, boring. Chan's going boring. Right about here. That works. Boomy. Boomy's funny. Boomy is one of the more likable characters. She's basically a mirror of King Boomy, a lesser version, a less extreme version. And we get to see some deep thoughts of Boomy throughout the series. I would say he's a pretty good character. I would probably say he's about average. I would say Boomy's about average. Probably the top of average. He's the standard, the last Airbender character, and he does it pretty well. Roku. Roku is the perfect teacher of Aang and the perfect like guide for Aang, and he's just wise and he's awesome. Roku's going at the top. Dang, this is where it gets hard. Roku, Opal, Kuvira, Jet. I would probably say Roku is great. Probably up here, to be honest. Somewhere in the great range. Aang. Maybe this is controversial, but I'm going to put Aang at the top of great. Aang has a very kid-friendly personality. I feel like sometimes I don't always agree with Aang and what he does, and how he reacts to certain situations. I don't think he's one of the top 5 characters in Avatar. I think he's up there. He's definitely up there. He's the main freaking character. Of course he's up there, but I don't think he is the best of the best. I think there's room for better characters. Combustion Man. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going below average. He was kind of just a mindless villain who attacked, Team Avatar multiple times. So, yeah, not going to say much. Lee. This kid is, of course, from the Zuko Alone episode, where Zuko basically, goes through that whole Alone saga. Cool kid, to be honest. I would probably say below average as well. I don't think he stuck out as, like, Guru Patik or the Boulder, any of them, but definitely a cool personality. Suyin. Suyin is a pretty cool, pretty awesome character. I think the way she built up the metal Earth Kingdom Village city, I forget what it's called, but the way she built that up was really cool. I like her family. I like the opposites between her and her sister, who we'll get to later. And I think Suyin's a pretty, like, alright character. I would probably say alright. Towards the top of alright. Probably around in this range for Suyin. And then Baatar, of course, that is the husband of Suyin. Not as cool as Suyin herself, but definitely a character that was alright in his screen time. He didn't get a lot, so I will go below average, probably around here. Batar Jr., I actually kind of like this because Kuvera, of course, like, kind of turned him against his family and, like, kind of brainwashed him a little bit. I actually kind of like Batar Jr. He kind of looks like Saku, which is really weird to me, but I actually really kind of liked him. I would probably say he's a bit better than Bolin. Master Patik, I'd probably say he's about right here. Batar Jr., yeah, kind of big step. Okay, so this is, of course, Toph's other daughter. This is, of course, Lin Beifong. Lin is pretty dang awesome. I think she's better than Suyin. I just love her hard-headed, determined ways. She's stuck in her ways, and it adds for a great, like, kind of bounce back and forth between like all the other characters. Like, no character is exactly like Lin Beifong. I would say she's good. I would say she's probably right here. Probably right somewhere in this range. Obviously tier good is just good, but yeah, probably in there. I think I'm gonna move Boomy and Princess Yue up to the good tier. I think they are good. So this is, of course, the warden from the Boiling Rock prison. Gonna go in below average. I think he made a good impression when he was on screen. He was a villain that you think could actually be like a decent villain. So that's where he's gonna go. Shu is just funny. Shu is just funny. He's gonna go below average, of course, because he's not a major character, but he's funny. Milo was funny like 25% of the time, and then he was annoying the other 75% of the time. Milo's going below average. He has some moments, but Milo overall is not a great character. I'm sorry. Ursa, we don't get to see much of Ursa, but I do like Ursa when we do see her. Ursa's going average for me. I'm gonna give Ursa her credit, and she's gonna go average for me. Keeping this moving. May, of course, is Zuko's girlfriend. She's a friend of Azula. She's a rich girl. She's kind of emo. Kind of has that emo persona. I would probably say May is average. I like her character enough to put her in average. Yeah, May's a pretty alright character for me. Zuko, the best. Probably the best character in Avatar. Like, as much as Avatar is Aang's story, it's also Zuko's story as well. I think there's a lot of parallels between them, and the redemption arc, of course, the best redemption arc in all of media. Zuko's amazing. Tenzin is probably around the same area as Boomy. I do like Tenzin. I think he is a good reflection of Aang as a son. Doesn't live up to Aang, but he is a good reflection. He has a lot put on him to restore the area nomads. And I think he does a very good job. I would probably put him, honestly, actually top of good. Actually great. I would put Tenzin in great. I'm gonna put Tenzin in great. I think Tenzin is a great son of Aang. Monk Gyatso, gonna put him in average around Master Patik. I think Monk Gyatso in his limited screen time did all right. Commander Zhao, the first real villain in the last Airbender series, honestly a bit boring was Commander Zhao, right? I don't think that's bad to say. He was a bit boring. Uncle Iroh, the best. Uncle Iroh, obviously the wisest character. As I rewatched the series like years later, there's like so many like great quotes from Iroh, and he's just such a lovable, wise old man. Ozai was alright. He was the big bad villain in The Last Airbender. I don't think he's great. I know he's the big bad villain, but I don't think he's great. I would probably put him in good. Probably below Lin? Yeah, like I know that's kind of an underestimate for the main villain of the whole series. He kind of set up the whole series, but you don't really get to see much of him as a person. So, yeah. Ty Lee. Gonna put her above May. Definitely gonna put her above May. I would probably put her in good. Back of good. She's a cool, upbeat character who really found her place towards the end of the series. Ooh, okay. Piandao. Master Piandao. Sokka's master that I was talking about before. Honestly, he's a pretty dang good character. Like, all things considered, he's a pretty good teacher. I really liked watching his scenes with Sokka. So I'm gonna put him in good. Oh, the first Avatar. The first Avatar Wan. I kind of like the first Avatar story. I'm gonna put him in, dang, I'm gonna put him in good. I liked watching him. I liked Stephen Young's performance as him. And I think he was a cool first Avatar. I really think, I mean, taking him out of where he was, like out of the setting, like just as a character himself, I liked him. I liked Wan. Azula, one of the best characters. One of the best characters, to be honest. Probably back of the best. Such a complex and layered character who goes through so much throughout the story, and just, wow, her and Zuko as opposites is just great. So now we're wrapping it up with the last couple characters. Let's get to it. Iki. Iki is probably the less notable of the kids. I would probably say she is below Milo. The back of below average. No, that's kind of mean. That's kind of mean. I'll put her like around here. Jinora has a little cool arc. I would probably put her in average. She has a little cool arc. Definitely the best of the grandkids. And her becoming like a oh god, what is it called? Getting her airbender tattoos was a pretty big moment. So I'll give her that. Kai was a character that came in pretty late in the last Korra? No, the Legend of Korra. Okay character. Just gonna go below average for me. And what was this woman's name? Come on, somebody help me. Pili? I don't know. Boring, to be honest. Just gonna keep it a buck. She was boring. I think a lot of the Red Lotus members were kind of boring, but Zahir carried it for sure, being great. So, yeah, that is my tier ranking. I did not know this video was gonna take this long, but it has. So, here we go. So the best, of course, we have Zuko, Toph, Uncle Iroh, Sokka, and Azula. Then we get to like the great characters: Aang, Zahir, Katara, Hama, Amon, Suki. Just a lot of great characters, and a lot of good as well. And the characters that fell in like the below average, a lot of them were just minor characters who didn't really get enough time to really shine and be interesting. And yeah, the boring characters, I'm not gonna say much about them. They were just boring, didn't really do much. Yeah, and only 5 garbage characters in the whole show, so hey, that's pretty good. And 3 of them came from Legend of Korra, so yeah. And all these other characters down here, of course, I just didn't want to include because that's a lot of characters. So yeah, this is my ranking of every The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra character, every notable character in the Last Airbender universe, ranked, completely laid out. Here it is. This is my ranking. So let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Did I misunderstand something? Is Aang the best? Is Aang garbage? Is this dude the best? Let me know where I stand with my tier ranking. Let me know if it's good. Let me know if it's bad. Please let me know in the comments what you would change. Other than that, guys, I think yeah, I'm gonna head out. This was a longer video than I expected, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed, subscribe. It is completely free. Subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.